I'm going to keep this fairly simple, and I want to emphasize that this decision was made a long time ago. Decision was actually made before my illness, which has certainly hastened, in some ways, the decision. It's made it a very, very difficult year for me. And anytime I have to be from away from as much work as I've been from as I've had to do this year, it makes me sad, makes me feel bad. It has done so since mid-June, and I still feel the same way today. And a lot of it swirls around work. And you're probably saying, "What's wrong with you?" Well, I don't know. But anyway, I want to emphasize that the way this year has gone for me, which is horribly, has nothing to do with this decision, which is a decision to retire, which will happen at the end of this year. My last show will be January 5th. It will be a very special show. There will be some details as we go along, some other things that you might be able to get a little involved with as we head toward that. Some other things we had planned on doing will have to be canceled because I haven't been here. I haven't been well enough to do this silly show. So I do this wanting you to understand. It's been a very difficult year, and it wasn't a difficult decision to make. And it was something, like I said, I probably made around May of last year, of this year, I should say. Probably made it right in there somewhere that I had, and I wrote about it. And immediately that column became garbage within a couple of months of that. But I want to emphasize that also is going up as we speak. Cody is putting up right now at 670score.com.
What's up?
Column that will explain it better than I can explain it, even though it's me explaining it. And Cody will make it good. I know he always does. So that should be up any second, if not already. And that will explain more than I can possibly do. But I want you to understand that I'm not being driven from the business. I'm not being as disappointing as all this has been to me, because I'm a guy who's worked for 50 years, and I would have happily worked the last 6 months of this as well every damn day. It hasn't turned out that way, and I don't know that it ever will again. I mean, I couldn't, even if I wanted to say to myself, well, hold off a while. No, I can't, because I don't know what the future holds. I really don't. And I know that if I retire, which I was going to do, I wanted to make it 25 years. You wonder what 25 years started on January 2nd, 1991 at the Score, or 1992, and this will be 25 years on January 2nd of this year. I wanted to make it to 25 years. And you say, what's wrong? I don't know why. I just did. It'd be 20 years of writing for a living and 25 years of doing this for a living. And I can promise you that these last 25 years have been a hell of a lot better than the first 20. And it's meant the world to me. And it continues to do so. It continues to do so even as I face the last stages of it. So, I do it. Colin explains it better than I can probably at this point. But
No, you're doing fine.
I think there's reach a breaking point, and I reached it a while ago, just in general. And then when this other breaking point hit me, as hard as it hit me, I had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to think about it, a lot of time, because nothing was ever announced, nothing was ever said publicly or anything about it. So I could have changed my mind at any point, and I don't think at this point I can rely on it. I can't do it. I can't possibly face this again, because missing what I missed this year, including the Cubs. Although I was there for a week, wasn't I? The World Series opener.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough on me in every way possible, not only physically, but mentally. And I hate to be away. I just hate to miss what we missed, what I missed. And I thank Dan and everybody who filled in. But I don't ever want to face that again. So we will gradually, I have plenty to do in this last month or so here. I have doctor appointments and everything else that continues to go on. It will go on for a while. And I will continue to miss some time, but I'm not like I did last time. I will be here most days. At least I will try, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to bring, and especially with this thing. You can never predict. You just don't know how you're going to feel from one day to the next. You don't know how you're going to feel from 1 minute to the next. So all of that combined with what I knew before this, that I wanted to make it to 25 years. I'm going to make it to 25 years, damn it. That much I've done. I don't know about what else I can do at this point, but January 5th, I promise you, will be a last show and a very special one. For me, anyway. I don't know if I'll be for others. But we're sort of planning it right now, and it's getting done. And I thank everybody here who's been so patient with me over all these years, and particularly this year, and Dan in particular, for putting up with what I know is difficult to do.
Stop it.
And Matt and Chris and everybody else, Mitch. I mean, you really start to find out who your real friends are. And believe me, I found out the hard way. I should have known. I should have known all along. But anyway, so I bow out. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if you do. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. But whatever it is, it'll be fine because Dan is great at what he does. So I didn't want it to turn into this. But it's I'm so full of medication and crap that I don't, half the time I don't know what I'm doing. So I apologize for this.
Nope, you're doing fine. You have nothing to apologize for.
Anyway, I want you to understand this was not an easy decision. Even when I made it way back when, I've been thinking about it for a while. And the column will explain it all to you. It's up now at 670thescore.com, and it will explain it all to you. And I'm sure Cody's helped me try to explain it. But it's really not a difficult process at this point for me. And I think it's the best for all involved. Because I thought actually about changing my mind and saying, I've missed all this. I can come. No, I can't. I just physically can't. And I can't guarantee Mitch. And that's not fair. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to anybody who listens to this show. And I cannot make any guarantees. So it makes it easier, actually. I mean, it helped me make the decision easier. Not that it wasn't made, but it makes it easier. That if I can't rely on me to be ready to do this, then what the hell can I rely on me for? So it's been that kind of year. I appreciate those who've hung with me and everybody I saw at the remote a month or so ago. It was amazing. And the people at this station, also amazing. So I leave feeling great about what has happened in the last 25 years to this station, and better yet, about what the future is. Because I used to worry about the future. I used to think, what happens? What happens now when all of the old veterans are gone and we're all done? I don't worry anymore. I don't give it a second thought. There's plenty to go around here, and there will continue to be at this station. So that's it. It's very simple. That been sitting on this for months, and finally when it comes out, I don't know if even anybody understood what I'm talking about. So that's where I'm at, and I want you to read the column because I've been contributing to 670thescore.com for a while, and doing this and doing that and just pleasing myself mostly. But this is one I know was necessary. I wanted to talk to those who'd been so kind to me, and aside from this, I know I talk to you every day, but I wanted to do that as well, and should be up now. So, but I thank everybody here for a great ride, and most of all you, the listeners, you've been terrific. And I didn't know how terrific until the last couple months. I didn't realize what all this nonsense we do means to people. So I thank you for your patience throughout this year. And I'm sorry it happened. Believe me, nobody's sorrier than me that it happened. But, the future will be bright. It's terrific. And this station is headed upward like crazy. And it will continue to do so with or without me. So now is the perfect time to bow out and turn it over to the younger generation. And we've lost all of our old, haven't we? All the old is sort of leaving. So everybody's much younger than I am. So they will all do a great job. And I feel terrific about what's happened in the last 25 years of my life. And you, the listener, are a huge, huge part of that. And at 547 Chicago Sports Radio 670 The Score, my two favorite words in show business, has joined us. Hello, Lawrence.
So you get to say it until January 5th, right?
January 5th, yeah.
Good. How are you, Uncle Terry?
Struggling, my friend, but I'm okay. I wasn't sure how that would all go, and I'm still not sure now. But
judging from the text response and the email response, it's nothing but love for you.
It went great.
Nothing but love for you, and as you know in this business, that there is no way to do anything better on these airwaves than be honest. That's
correct.
It is always the way to do it.
That's true.
And I also have to say, for people asking about the James Brown sound effect, that's Terry's text notification.
That's my phone, yeah. That's James. James is having a rough night.
Just so people know,
it wasn't me trying to ruin the moment.
Right.
No, it's not Chris.
Yeah,
no,
so
it's me.
In the middle of all of this, and in classic Boers and Bernstein fashion, as Terry is bearing his soul about this, and you hear this faint James Brown scream over and over in the background, and I'm looking at Tanny, and I'm looking at Maddie, and Tanny's looking at me. You're like, look, that's me. That's been your phone for years now.
Yeah, it's been my phone. That's my phone text. Yeah,
it's almost like you couldn't have planned it better.
Oh.
You know, like that's so B&B.
I know
that you could. That's why I understand there's someone sitting at home going, that's Tanny doing that, and it's not.
It's me.
It's not.
And it's not.
It's his own phone, and it's beyond his control. Now
I'm a bonehead.
And also, before we transition fully over to Laurence, I want to say thank you. Terry got a chance to thank the listeners. We raised $28,000 today, which
that's a perfect
and that is a total. We started. I want to say the show started around 12, so that was $16,000 just during this show, well ahead of expectations for One Step Camp in Children's Oncology. That means the Ellen Marks Cancer Foundation has indeed matched $25,000 of that. So we are at $53,000 and rising. Outstanding, and thank you. That just sent 53 kids with cancer to camp for a week on this Giving Tuesday, and we are not done. I urge people to keep going to onestepcamp.org. I also want to thank the anonymous donor who donated $5,000.
That's nice.
Somebody with one quick...
That's the perfect topper for the day.
Click. Yep. If you want to just send out with some really, really good feeling on what's been an emotional day, it is that. So I offer my thanks as well.
You wrote in the column about, and 670thescore.com, you should read Terry's words. I've tweeted it out. The station's tweeted it out. I'll put it on Facebook as well. You wrote in the column about what it was like, but for people who don't remember what it was like here at the beginning and how little time the station and the format was given to succeed, what was it like?
Well, it was a little bit nerve-wracking because I felt like I left a job that was a steady job, although I knew newspapers were in trouble even back then. But I come into a nightmare where we went through an entire book where they told us that nobody was listening. 0.00 was our ratings. And, you know, it wasn't like we didn't have some backing because Dan Lee had XRT for years, very successful, knew what he was doing, and Seth Mason were running the station then. And Danny Lee called me in his office one day because he knew I was fretting. And I mean, I wasn't panic-stricken, Laurence, and I wanted people to understand I wasn't panic-stricken. I wasn't thinking, oh, my God, what did I do? I just, completely screwed the pooch on this. I felt like I was going to ride this out, too, that the people who had dedicated themselves to getting this right and doing it and learning as we all went along and sitting in that little bit of studio at the root of the transmitter, by the way, poisoning. I mean, all of this.
That's what happened.
All of this, I mean, it was too. There was so many things going on that you weren't as overwhelmed, and I know what you're asking, overwhelmed by the fact that nobody was listening as you might have been. I was on a point because I never had a job where people said, they're just not interested in anything you say or anything you do. Okay, well, fine. All right, then I'll move on. But it was a bit of a shock, and it turned out it was incorrect anyway. But, yeah, it was a long struggle, Laurence. And to see where this station has come in 25 years, I couldn't be prouder of the people and everybody who's been associated with it for a long period of time. And, I know the future with guys like you and others around here in great hands. I used to think about Dad Jason. I mean, it's just in terrific hands. So I no longer have that worry thinking, oh, man, whatever it is we built, these guys, no, they're not. No, they're not.
I remember when you were talking, when we got the Cubs, and you were telling me out in the hallway, can you believe this? That the station with no ratings now has the Cubs. Yeah. And then you juxtapose your story with how many radios were listening to the score when the Cubs won the World Series. It's amazing.
It really is. It's been a great ride, and I certainly didn't mean to, fall apart in front of everybody, but it's been such a terrific ride. It's one you hate to see end, but I also understand that I owe others things as well besides the people who've been so loyal to me, and I'm going to move on, and I hope people enjoy the column. I hope they do.
It's great.
It really is.
It's great.
If you want a history of this radio station and the life of Terry Boers, read his column on 670thescore.com. And the great thing for us is we've got 5 more weeks to mess with you. So
yes, you do.
That's good for all of us, and that's good for every listener too. And I'd imagine maybe there's some people that have found their way away from the station that will find their way back, knowing that they're not going to be able to listen to TB do his thing after January 5th.
I don't think they find their way back after he leaves.
Yeah,
that's different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some days where I'm missing because I have doctor commitments and everything else coming up, but I will be here as much as I possibly can, and I don't see anything standing in my way if I'm surviving the way I feel these days is, better than I did the first time around when I came back, probably too early. But I'm going to try, Laurence, to hang in there as long as I can, and I'm really looking forward to the last show because I think it's going to touch home with a lot of people who've listened to this station forever. And it'll be a trip down memory lane, I promise you that. All right, some quick thank you. Let's get the hell out of Lawrence's way. And James is wearing himself out here. He's just completely out of his gourd.